It was a sound Eleanor Hayes hadn't heard in precisely 2 years, 1 month and 14 days. Lily's laughter. It drifted from the physical therapy room, a room that had remained locked ever since her niece, 11 months ago, screamed that she would never set foot in there again. Eleanor climbed the stairs, her heart pounding in her chest. She pushed the door open, and what she saw shattered her. But to understand why a woman who controlled 12 luxury hotels, a woman who generated $2.5 million annually, was on the verge of tears in the hallway of her own home, you need the whole story. And trust me, before it's over, you're going to question every priority you've chosen in your life. If you've ever felt that working harder was the solution to everything, this story will make you uncomfortable. Because Eleanor Hayes worked harder than anyone, and yet a household manager who earned only $400 a month accomplished in 1 year what Eleanor, with all her millions, couldn't achieve in 2. Eleanor Hayes was 54 years old, and she lived by a routine that seemed carved in stone. She woke up at 5 a.m., checked emails on the treadmill, left the house at 6 without breakfast. Meetings starting at 7, hotel inspections, negotiations with investors, calls with suppliers. She'd return home at 9 p.m., eat dinner in her office while reviewing financial reports, and fall asleep past midnight. Weekends were worse, because on weekends, when she didn't have work as an excuse, she had to confront the silence of that enormous estate, and the silence reminded her of everything she had lost. 2 years, 1 month, and 14 days ago, Eleanor received a call that changed her life forever. Her younger brother, David, had died in a car accident, his wife too, and their daughter, Lily, 15 years old at the time, had survived. But with a complete spinal cord injury in vertebrae T10 and T11, complete paraplegia, no movement, no sensation. From the waist down, Lily no longer existed. Eleanor became the legal guardian of the only family she had left. She hired the best doctors, adapted an entire room in the estate as a physical therapy room, purchased medical equipment that cost more than a brand new car. 3 physical therapists came during the first 6 months. All 3 quit. Not because Lily was difficult to treat medically, but because she had stopped wanting to live. Lily Hayes Ruiz had been a dancer, not one of those girls who take classes on Saturdays. A real dancer, 12 years of training in classical ballet, awarded a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Dance in London. She had her ticket bought, her suitcase packed, her life's dream only a week away. And then, the accident. Her parents died instantly. She woke up in a hospital, unable to move her legs. And when they told her she would never walk again, something inside Lily went out. She stopped talking, she stopped eating, she stopped trying. The physical therapists performed the exercises, moved her legs as if they were pieces of wood, and Lily stared at the ceiling with empty eyes. She didn't cry, she didn't scream, she simply wasn't there. Eleanor didn't know what to do, so she did the only thing she knew how to do: work harder. She hired more specialists, paid for experimental treatments, searched for clinics in the United States, Germany, Japan. But she never sat down to talk with Lily, because talking meant facing the pain. And Eleanor Hayes didn't know how to face pain without turning it into a to-do list. A year ago, the 3rd physical therapist quit. It was a Friday afternoon. Eleanor was in a meeting when she received the text, "I can't do this anymore." Lily screamed that if she came into that room again, she would throw herself out the window. I'm sorry. Eleanor arrived home that night and found Lily in her bedroom, with the curtains closed, the light off, without having eaten dinner. She asked her what had happened. Lily didn't respond. She said she would get another therapist. Lily turned her head toward the wall. That was the last real conversation they had. The next day, Eleanor posted an ad looking for a household manager, not a therapist, not a nurse, just someone to keep the house clean, prepare meals, and not ask questions. Beatrice Morales responded to the ad on Monday. 52 years old, a widow, 10 years of experience in private homes, impeccable references. In the interview, she spoke little. Eleanor explained that only she and her niece lived in the house, that her niece had a medical condition but didn't need special care, just privacy. Beatrice nodded. She didn't ask what the condition was. She didn't ask why such a large house only had 2 inhabitants. She accepted the job, $400 a month, Monday to Saturday, from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. She started the following Tuesday. Eleanor didn't realize it, but that was the day everything started to change. Only the deepest changes are the quietest, and Eleanor was too busy making noise in her life to listen. During the first few weeks, Beatrice was exactly what Eleanor had asked for. Invisible. She arrived at 7:30, cleaned, cooked, left Lily's food on a tray in front of her door. Eleanor almost never saw her, but there were strange details, small ones, so small that Eleanor noticed them and forgot them instantly. Lily's food always disappeared from the plate. Before, with the other employees, half of it remained untouched. Now, the plate came back empty. Lily started to open the curtains of her room. Not much, just a crack, but before, the curtains had been closed for months. One day, Eleanor went downstairs for breakfast and heard music in the kitchen. Beatrice was cooking while a song by the Drifters played on an old radio. Eleanor was going to tell her to turn down the volume, but then she heard something else. Lily's voice. Not words, just a hum. Soft, distant. Eleanor froze in the hallway. It had been months since she had heard Lily's voice, not even to say good morning, but she had a meeting at 8. She couldn't stay, so she left. And when she returned that night, the moment had already passed. Months went by. Beatrice remained invisible, but Lily was changing. She started to leave her room to eat in the dining room. She didn't talk, but she was present. Then she started to ask for Beatrice if she arrived late. Then, one day, Eleanor found them sitting in the living room, Lily in her wheelchair, Beatrice on the sofa, watching a movie in silence. Eleanor didn't ask. She just nodded and went up to her office. But something in her chest tightened. Because a household manager was achieving what she, with all her money and desperation, hadn't been able to, bringing Lily back to life, and Eleanor didn't know whether to feel relief or shame. One Wednesday morning, Eleanor walked into Lily's room to drop off some medical insurance papers. Lily wasn't there. The bed was made. The wheelchair wasn't in its usual spot. Eleanor went downstairs to the kitchen. Lily wasn't there either. Daisy, the household manager, was cleaning the dining room. "Where's Lily?" Eleanor asked. "She's resting, ma'am," Daisy replied, not looking up. "Resting where?" "In her room. But I was just there, and she wasn't." Daisy hesitated, just for a second. Then she smiled. "Sorry, ma'am. I meant to say, she's in the garden. She likes to soak up the sun in the mornings." Eleanor glanced out the window. Lily was there, in her chair, with a book in her lap. Eleanor nodded and went to work. But that night when she got home, something made her pause. She went up to Lily's room. The door was ajar. Lily was sound asleep. Her face was relaxed, almost happy. Eleanor reached for the bedside table to turn off the lamp. And then she saw it, a small bottle of almond oil, still warm, with a subtle lavender scent. Eleanor picked it up. She opened it. She smelled it. It cost like $10 at any drugstore, nothing special. But who had put it there? And why was it warm, as if someone had just used it? Eleanor put the bottle back in its place. She left the room. She stood in the hallway staring at Lily's closed door, and then at the door to the physical therapy room that had been closed for almost a year. Something didn't add up, but Eleanor didn't know what. And if you're one of those people who thinks they're paying attention to everything that matters, I'm warning you, Eleanor thought so too. and she was completely blind. One Friday afternoon, Eleanor arrived home earlier than usual. One of her meetings had been cancelled. It was 5 p.m. Normally, she'd still be at the office at that hour. She entered the house quietly. Daisy was in the kitchen, preparing dinner. Eleanor went upstairs to change. She passed Lily's room. The door was closed, but when she passed the physical therapy room, she stopped. The door was slightly open, just a crack, but there was light inside. Eleanor approached slowly. She peeked through the crack. Lily was there, in her wheelchair, alone, staring at the physical therapy equipment that hadn't been used in months. The parallel bars, the examination table, the weights. Lily reached out and touched one of the bars. Her fingers caressed the cold metal. And then she did something Eleanor hadn't seen in 2 years. She cried, not with sobs, not with screams, just silent tears streaming down her face as she looked at that room full of machines that once promised her hope and only brought her pain. Eleanor was about to go in. She was going to hug her. She was going to say something, anything, to make her stop crying. But then she heard footsteps on the stairs. Daisy. Eleanor hid behind a column in the hallway. She didn't know why. She just felt she needed to see what was going to happen. Daisy entered the physical therapy room. Lily quickly wiped away her tears. Daisy said nothing. She just placed a hand on Lily's shoulder, and then, in a voice so soft that Eleanor could barely hear, she said, "Do you want to try today?" Lily shook her head. "Okay, another day." Daisy pushed Lily's chair out of the room. She closed the door, and the two of them went downstairs together. Eleanor stood there in the hallway, her heart racing. Try what? What were they talking about? That night she couldn't sleep. The next day was Saturday. Eleanor didn't work on Saturdays, but she always found something to do at the office. This time she stayed home. She told Daisy she would be in her study all day, but in reality, she was watching. Daisy arrived at 7:30 a.m. as usual. She prepared breakfast. Lily came downstairs at 8 a.m. They ate together. Eleanor watched them from the window of her study. They were talking. Lily was smiling. Daisy was pouring her more juice. Lily was telling her something, gesturing with her hands. Daisy was laughing. Eleanor felt a pang in her chest. When was the last time Lily told her anything? At 10 a.m., Daisy went upstairs to clean the second floor. Eleanor pretended to be working when Daisy passed her study. When Daisy entered Lily's room, Eleanor went out into the hallway and approached. She heard voices, laughter, music. Then she heard something else, the sound of wheels, Lily's chair moving, and then Daisy's voice, "That's right, just like that." Slowly, Eleanor frowned. Just like what? And then, silence. Eleanor waited. 5 minutes. 10. 15. When Daisy left Lily's room, Eleanor was already back in her study, pretending to read a contract. But that night, when Daisy left and Lily was sleeping, Eleanor entered her niece's room. She searched for something. Anything. A clue. And she found it. In the drawer of the bedside table, hidden under some old magazines, there was a notebook. Blue. Hardcover, with Lily's name written on the cover in her handwriting. Eleanor opened it. The first page read, "Day 1. Daisy says I can try again. I don't know if I want to, but I trust her." Eleanor turned the page. Day 7. "Today it didn't hurt as much as yesterday." She turned another page. Day 34. "Daisy says my body is remembering. I don't feel anything yet, but she says that doesn't mean it's not happening." Eleanor turned several more pages. Her hands were trembling. Day 127. "I don't know if it's my imagination, but I swear I felt something, like a tingling. Daisy says it's not my imagination. She says it's the beginning." Tears began to stream down Eleanor's face. Day 184. "I felt it again. This time I'm sure it wasn't my imagination." Eleanor closed the notebook. She put it back exactly where she had found it. She left the room. She closed the door slowly. She sat in the hallway with her back against the wall and cried silently. because she had just realized something horrible. That for an entire year, something extraordinary had been happening in her own house, and she had no idea. If you ever thought that money could replace time, this story is going to sting. Because Eleanor Hayes had all the money in the world, but Daisy Morales, with her $400 a month, was doing what no specialist charging $500 an hour had been able to achieve. She was giving back hope. Eleanor got up from the hallway. She went into her office. She opened her laptop. She searched for Daisy's resume that she had saved when she hired her. Daisy Morales, 52 years old, widow, experience, household manager, 10 years, nothing else. It didn't say she had been a physical therapist. It didn't say she had any medical training. She didn't say anything that explained how a household manager was achieving the impossible. Eleanor closed her laptop, glanced at the clock. 11 p.m. Monday morning, she thought. Monday, I'm going to talk to Lily. I'm going to find out what's going on. I'm going to demand answers. But Monday arrived, and Eleanor had 3 urgent meetings, and then a surprise inspection at one of her hotels in Scottsdale, followed by a dinner with investors. By the time she got home, Lily had already left for the night. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the same thing. Eleanor kept putting off the conversation because deep down, she was afraid of discovering she'd been so blind, so absent, that she hadn't seen the most important thing happening in her life. Friday morning, Eleanor woke up at 5 a.m. as usual, checked her agenda. She had a 7 a.m. meeting with a linen supplier for her hotels. She was planning to leave by 6 a.m., but at 5:45 a.m., she received a text from the supplier cancelling, family emergency. Eleanor checked the time, 5:47 a.m., and then she heard something, a sound that shouldn't be there at that hour. Running water, upstairs. Eleanor frowned. She went upstairs. The sound was coming from the hallway bathroom, but Lily didn't wake up before 8 a.m., and Lily didn't arrive until 7:30 a.m. Eleanor approached the bathroom. The door was closed. The water was still running. And then she heard something else. Lily's voice. Eleanor checked her watch. 5:52 a.m. Lily shouldn't be there. Eleanor walked slowly down the hallway. She passed Lily's bedroom. The door was closed. She kept walking. The door to the physical therapy room was ajar, just a crack. There was light inside. Eleanor approached, peered through the opening, and what she saw stopped her heart. Lily was kneeling on the floor. Lily was lying face down on the physical therapy table, her legs bare. Lily's hands were full of oil, massaging Lily's right calf, with slow, deep, professional movements. Movements that Eleanor had seen physical therapists do, therapists who charged $200 an hour. But it wasn't just that. Lily was singing, softly, a song Eleanor didn't recognize, something that sounded like a spiritual. And Lily, her eyes closed, had tears streaming down her face. Eleanor looked at the clock on the wall of the room. 5:54 a.m. If Lily was there at 5:54 a.m., it meant she'd arrived much earlier, maybe at 5 a.m., maybe at 4:30 a.m., an hour and a half before she was scheduled, without being asked, without charging extra. Eleanor felt her legs trembling. She leaned against the wall, kept watching. Lily finished with Lily's right calf, moved to the left. She poured more oil into her hands, rubbed it between her palms to warm it, and then, with a tenderness that broke Eleanor's soul, she began to massage. Lily whispered something. Eleanor couldn't hear what. Lily responded, "I know, sweetheart. I know, but don't give up. Your body is listening to you. It just needs time." Eleanor covered her mouth with her hand. The tears started to fall because she had just understood. This hadn't started today. This had been going on for months, maybe a whole year, every morning. While Eleanor slept, while Eleanor got ready for work, while Eleanor checked emails, Lily arrived early, entered the room that Lily had sworn she'd never set foot in again, and did what no specialist had managed to do. She was giving Lily hope again. Eleanor backed away from the door slowly, went downstairs, left the house, sat in the garden, and wept, as she hadn't wept since the day of the accident. She cried for Lily. She cried for her dead brother. She cried for all the months she had been so blind, so absent, that she didn't realize a miracle was happening in her own home. And she cried because a household manager who earned $400 a month had done in a year what she, with all her fortune, hadn't been able to do in 2. Give love if you ever thought being busy was a valid excuse for not being present. I dare you to finish this story and keep thinking the same thing. Eleanor didn't go to work that day. She texted her assistant saying she was sick, cancelled all her meetings, locked herself in her study, and waited. At 7:30 a.m., she heard the front door open, Lily's footsteps coming in, Lily's voice greeting Lily, the two of them laughing at something. Eleanor closed her eyes. At 8 a.m., Lily knocked on the study door. "Mrs. Hayes, are you feeling all right? I saw your car is still here." "I'm fine, Lily. I just need to work from home today." "Would you like me to make you some breakfast?" "No, thank you." Lily left. Eleanor heard her footsteps fading away. Throughout the day, Eleanor observed. From the window of her study, she watched Lily work. She cleaned, she cooked, she talked to Lily. They laughed together. At 3 p.m., Lily asked Lily to help her with something. Eleanor didn't hear what. The two of them went upstairs. Eleanor went out into the hallway, hid in her bedroom, left the door ajar. Lily and Lily entered the physical therapy room. Eleanor heard Lily's voice. "Are you ready?" "I don't know." "It's okay not to know, but we're going to try anyway." Silence. Then, the sound of the chair wheels moving, the sound of Lily adjusting something, and then Lily's voice, breaking. "I'm scared. I know, but fear doesn't mean you can't. It just means it matters." Eleanor clenched her fists. What was Lily afraid of? What were they doing in there? 10 minutes passed. 20. 30. When they came out, Lily's eyes were red. Lily had a hand on her shoulder. "You did really well today." "I didn't feel anything." "Not yet. You didn't feel anything yet. But you will. I promise you." Lily nodded. Lily led her back to her room. Eleanor returned to her study, closed the door, sat on the floor, and realized something that terrified her, that she didn't know her niece, that she didn't know what scared her, what motivated her, what she dreamed about, that she had been so busy saving her business that she forgot to save the only family she had left, and that a woman she paid $400 a month knew Lily better than she did. That night, when Lily left, Eleanor went up to Lily's room. She knocked on the door. "Can I come in?" Lily looked surprised. "Sure." Eleanor entered, sat in the chair next to the bed. Lily was reading a book. "How was your day?" "Fine." "What did you do?" "The usual. Read, watch television." Nothing else?" Lily hesitated. "Nothing else." Eleanor nodded. She remained silent. Then Eleanor asked, "Are you happy, Lily?" Lily lowered her book. She looked at Eleanor with an expression that was half confusion, half sorrow. "Why do you ask me that?" "Because I don't know. Because I live with you, and I don't know if you're happy." Lily looked away. "I'm fine." "I didn't ask if you were fine. I asked if you were happy." Lily didn't respond. Eleanor waited. 1 minute. 2. Finally, Lily whispered, I don't know what it is to be happy, but I'm better than I was." "Why are you better?" Lily looked at her, and for a moment, Eleanor thought she was going to tell her the truth, that she was going to talk about Beatrice, their secret mornings, the hope that was growing inside her. But Lily only said, "Because time helps." "That's all." Eleanor nodded. She said goodnight. She left the room. And she knew Lily had lied to her. But she also knew that she didn't have the right to demand the truth, because she herself had been lying for 2 years. Lying that working more would solve the pain. Lying that money could replace presence. Lying that she was fine. The next day, Eleanor did something she hadn't done in years. She woke up at 5 a.m., but instead of going to the gym, instead of checking emails, she stayed in her room, waiting. At 5:15 a.m., she heard the front door open. Beatrice's footsteps. Eleanor went out into the hallway. Beatrice was walking upstairs. "Good morning, Mom. You're up early today." "I couldn't sleep. Would you like me to make you coffee?" "No, thank you." "Beatrice, can I ask you a question?" "Of course, Ma'am." "Why do you come so early?" Beatrice hesitated, just for a second. Then she smiled. "I like to watch the sunrise from the garden before I start working. It's peaceful." Eleanor nodded. "I understand." Beatrice continued upstairs. She went into the cleaning closet. She took out her things. Eleanor went down to the kitchen. She made herself coffee. She sat at the dining room table and waited. At 6 a.m., she heard a sound upstairs, very soft, like someone was moving furniture. At 6:30 a.m., Lily came downstairs. She was surprised to see Eleanor there. "What are you doing up so early?" "I couldn't sleep." "What about you?" I woke up early too." Lily poured herself some juice. She sat in her wheelchair across from Eleanor. They looked at each other in silence. "Aunt Eleanor, are you okay?" "Yes, I just wanted to spend time with you." Lily smiled, a small but real smile. "Okay." They had breakfast together. They talked about trivial things, the weather, a movie Lily had seen, a new hotel Eleanor was going to open. But Eleanor noticed something. Lily was looking at the clock every few minutes, as if she were waiting for something or someone. At 7:30 a.m., Beatrice came into the kitchen. She saw Eleanor and Lily having breakfast together and stopped. "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were here. I can come back later." "No, it's okay," Lily said quickly. "We're already finished. Right, Aunt Eleanor?" Eleanor looked at Lily, then at Beatrice, then back at Lily. "Yes, I'm finished." She got up. She went up to her study. She closed the door and listened. She heard Lily and Beatrice talking in the kitchen. She heard Lily laugh. She heard Beatrice ask her how she was feeling. She heard Lily say that she was tired, but okay, and then she heard silence. Eleanor opened the door to her study slowly. She peeked into the hallway. Lily and Beatrice weren't there. Eleanor went downstairs. She checked the living room, the dining room, the garden. No one. She went upstairs again. She passed Lily's room. Empty. She passed the physical therapy room. The door was closed. Eleanor approached. She put her ear against the door. She heard Beatrice's voice. "All right, now we're going to try with the left one." The sound of something moving. Then Lily's voice. "I can't." "Yes, you can. You did it yesterday. You can do it today. It hurts, I know, but the pain means your body is waking up, and that's good." Eleanor closed her eyes. Her heart was beating so hard that she was sure they could hear it on the other side of the door. She was going to open it. She was going to go in. She was going to demand to know what was going on. But then she heard something else, something that froze her, the sound of Lily crying, not crying from pain, crying from frustration. "I can't be. I've tried so hard and I can't. The doctors were right. I'm never going to walk again." "Lily, look at me." Silence. "Look at me, sweetie." More silence. "I know it hurts. I know you've tried and that you feel like nothing's happening, but I've seen what you've accomplished. I've documented every millimeter, every small movement, and I'm going to tell you something that you might not want to hear, but that you need to hear." Beatrice paused. Eleanor held her breath. "Maybe you'll never walk again. Maybe the doctors are right. But if you give up now, you're going to spend the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you had tried one more day. And I'm not going to let you live with that question, because I did live with that question, and it destroyed me." "What are you talking about?" Beatrice was silent. Then, in a voice so low that Eleanor could barely hear, she said, "I had a daughter. Her name was Daniela. She had an accident when she was 15 years old. Just like you. She became paralyzed. Just like you. The doctors said she would never walk, just like they said about you." Eleanor covered her mouth with her hand. "And for 3 years, I did exactly what I'm doing with you. I massaged her. I helped her with exercises. I told her not to give up. But one day, Daniela got tired, and she told me that she wanted to stop, that she wanted to accept that she would never walk and move on with her life. And I let her." Beatrice's voice broke. "I stopped insisting. I stopped doing the exercises. And 3 months later, Daniela died of pneumonia because her body was so weak, so immobile, that it couldn't fight the infection. And I've spent the last 5 years wondering if it would have been different, if I had insisted one more day, one more month, one more year." Lily didn't say anything. "So I'm not going to let you give up, Lily, because maybe I can't save you, but I can try. And if it doesn't work out in the end, at least you'll know that you did everything possible, that you didn't stay with the question, that you fought until the end." Eleanor felt the tears running down her face. Now she heard Lily's voice trembling. "I'm sorry, Bea. I'm so sorry. You don't have to feel anything. You just have to try for one more day. Can you do that?" "Yes." "Then let's go. Again. The left leg. You can do it." Eleanor walked away from the door. She went into her room. She sat on the bed and finally understood. This wasn't just about Lily. It was about Beatrice trying to save the daughter she couldn't save. It was about love and guilt and second chances. And Eleanor realized she had no right to interfere, because Lily was giving something that no amount of money could buy. She was giving her pain, transformed into hope. Eleanor didn't go back to work the rest of the week. She told her assistant she had the flu, cancelled meetings, delegated responsibilities, and stayed home, observing. Every morning, Lily arrived at 5:15 a.m. She went up to the physical therapy room, prepared everything. At 5:30 a.m., Lily came down in her chair. They went in together, closed the door. At 7:30 a.m., they came out. Lily always had red eyes. Lily always had a tired smile. They had breakfast together, talked, laughed, and then Lily started her work as a household manager, as if the previous 2 hours had never existed. Eleanor started to snoop. In the moments when Lily weren't around, she went into the physical therapy room. She checked everything. She found a notebook hidden in a drawer, blue hardcover with Lily's handwriting. She opened it. Day 1, November 15th, Lily agreed to try it. She doesn't trust that it will work, but she trusts me. That's enough for now. Today, I only massaged her for 30 minutes. She cried the whole time. She says she's afraid to feel hope. I understand. Hope hurts more than despair. Eleanor flipped through the pages. There were hundreds of entries. Day 34. Lily stopped crying during the sessions. Now she talks. She tells me about her dreams of dancing, about London, about her parents. It's the first time I've heard her talk about them without breaking down. Day 89. Today I used a new technique I learned from a YouTube video. Deep tissue massage. Lily said it hurt, but it was a different kind of pain. A pain that felt alive. Day 127. She moved her finger. Only a millimeter or two. Imperceptible to anyone who wasn't watching closely, but I saw it. And Lily felt it too. She screamed, cried, hugged me. She thanked me for not giving up. I thanked her for letting me try. Eleanor's tears fell onto the pages. Day 184. She moved her finger again, this time a quarter of an inch. It's real. It's not my imagination. Lily is recovering something. I don't know if it's movement or just sensation, but it's something. Day 287. Today I felt her leg react when I applied pressure to a specific point, like a reflex. The doctors said reflexes don't come back, but I felt it. Day 365. Eleanor stopped at this page. It was dated 2 weeks ago. Day 365, a whole year. 730 accumulated hours of massage, 365 consecutive days without missing a single one. And today, Lily felt something. It wasn't a movement. It was a sensation. She said her calf was burning when I applied pressure. First real sensation in 24 months. I asked her if she wanted me to call a doctor. She said no. She wanted to wait. That if this wasn't real, if it was just her imagination, she didn't want anyone telling her she was wrong. She wanted to hold on to the hope. Even if it was false, I told her it wasn't false, that I felt it too, that her body is responding. I don't know if Lily will ever walk again. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a miracle worker. I'm just a woman who lost her daughter and who doesn't want another mother, another family, to go through the same thing. But I know one thing. Lily is alive, not just physically. She's alive in her soul, and that, for me, is already a miracle. Eleanor closed the notebook. She left it exactly where she found it. She left the physical therapy room and made a decision. Tomorrow, she was going to talk to Lily, not to scold her, not to forbid her from continuing, but to thank her and to ask her how she could help. Because if there was one thing she had learned in these 2 weeks, it was this: money didn't save lives. Presence did. Time did. The love that is expressed in quiet and constant actions did. And Eleanor Hayes had been spending her life on what didn't matter, but it wasn't too late to change. Not yet. The next day, Eleanor got up at 5 in the morning. She got dressed, went down to the kitchen, made coffee, and waited. At 5:15 a.m., Lily arrived. She opened the door with her key, came in, and froze when she saw Eleanor sitting at the dining room table. "Mrs. Hayes, I didn't know you were awake." "Sit down, Lily." Lily left her bag on the floor. She approached slowly, sat down across from Eleanor. The two looked at each other in silence. Then Eleanor said, "I know what you've been doing." Lily didn't say anything. She just looked down. "I know you arrive early. I know you massage Lily. I know about your daughter." Lily looked up. She had tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Hayes. I know I should have told you. I know it wasn't my place. But Lily asked me not to say anything and I—" "No," Eleanor interrupted. "I'm not scolding you." Lily blinked. "I'm thanking you." Lily's tears started to fall. "For an entire year, you've done what I couldn't do. You gave Lily back her hope. You gave her back her will to live. And not only that, you did it without expecting anything in return, without charging extra, without asking for recognition." "Mrs. Hayes, let me finish." Eleanor took a breath. "I've been so blind, so busy, so convinced that working more and earning more money was going to fix everything. And meanwhile, you were here, doing the only thing that really mattered, being present." Eleanor wiped away her tears. "And now I'm going to ask you something. And if you say no, I'll understand. But I need to ask. What do you need, Mrs. Hayes? I want to help. I want to learn. I want to be there for Lily the way you have been. I don't want to replace you. I want to be part of this." Lily smiled through her tears. "Mrs. Hayes, I was just waiting for you to ask." And that's how it all started. That same morning, Eleanor went up to the physical therapy room with Lily. Lily was surprised to see her there. "Aunt Eleanor." "Lily told me everything," Eleanor said. "And I want to be here, if you'll let me." Lily looked at Lily. Lily nodded. Lily looked back at Eleanor. And then, for the first time in 2 years, she held out her arms. Eleanor hugged her, and the two cried. From that day on, Eleanor started arriving early too. Lily taught her the massage techniques, showed her the pressure points, explained how to warm the oil, how to move her hands, how to read Lily's body's reactions. At first, Eleanor was clumsy. Her hands were rough, accustomed to signing contracts, not giving affection, but she learned, slowly, with patience. Lily would say, "Softer, Aunt Eleanor," and Eleanor tried again, a little higher, and Eleanor adjusted, "Like that. That's good." And Eleanor smiled. Weeks passed. Eleanor reduced her work hours, delegated more responsibilities, hired a co-CEO to manage the day-to-day operations. She spent only 8 hours in the office instead of 14, and the other 6 hours she spent with Lily, learning to know her, listening to her talk about her dreams, her fears, her hopes. And something in Eleanor began to heal too, because it turns out when you stop running from the pain, when you finally sit down and face it, you discover it doesn't kill you, it transforms you. A month after the conversation with Beatrice, Eleanor was massaging Lily's left leg. Beatrice was on the other side, with the right. They worked in sync, like a well-oiled machine, like a team. Lily had her eyes closed, breathing deeply, and then, suddenly, she opened her eyes. Wait, Eleanor and Beatrice stopped. What is it? I feel something. Eleanor and Beatrice exchanged glances. Where? In my foot, the left one. When you press there, Aunt Eleanor. I felt it. Eleanor looked at Beatrice. Beatrice nodded. Try it again. Eleanor pressed the same spot. Lily closed her eyes, waited. Yes, it's like pins and needles, like it's been asleep and is starting to wake up. Beatrice pulled out her notebook, wrote, Day 395. Eleanor applied pressure to left plantar arch. Lily reported tingling sensation. Localized and specific response. It's real. Eleanor covered her mouth with her hand. Beatrice placed a hand on her shoulder. It's a good day, Beatrice said. Lily smiled. And for the first time, it wasn't a tentative smile of hope. It was a smile of certainty. Something was happening. Something real. If you're watching this story and you still think money is more valuable than time, you haven't been paying attention. Because Eleanor Hayes had millions, and they didn't do a damn thing. What saved Lily wasn't money. It was 730 hours of steady hands and silent love. But the story doesn't end there. Because miracles aren't always quick, and sometimes the hardest part isn't starting, it's continuing, when it seems like nothing is changing. More weeks passed, more months. The massage sessions continued. Eleanor, Beatrice, and Lily, together, every morning, without fail. There were good days, days when Lily felt more, days when her toes moved a millimeter further, and there were bad days, days when she felt nothing, days when she cried in frustration, days when she screamed that it was useless, that the doctors were right, that this would never work. On those days, Eleanor and Beatrice took turns holding her, telling her that it was okay to feel that way, that progress wasn't linear, that the important thing was not to give up, and Lily didn't give up, because now she had two women who wouldn't let her. One day, Eleanor had to travel to Los Angeles for an urgent meeting she couldn't delegate. She was going to be gone for 3 days. Before leaving, she told Lily, Beatrice will be here, and I'm going to call you every night. And when I get back, I want you to tell me everything you felt, everything you accomplished. Okay? Lily nodded. Come back soon, Aunt Eleanor. I promise. Eleanor was in Los Angeles for 2 days. On the 3rd day, in the middle of a meeting, she received a call from Beatrice. Mrs. Hayes, you need to come home. What happened? Is Lily okay? She's fine, but you need to be here now. Eleanor cancelled everything, took the first flight, drove from the airport home without stopping. She arrived at 9 p.m., ran inside. Beatrice was in the living room, smiling. What happened? Go upstairs. Physical therapy room. Eleanor took the stairs 2 at a time, opened the door to the physical therapy room. Lily was there, sitting in her wheelchair, looking at her with eyes full of tears and a huge smile. What happened? Lily extended her right hand. Eleanor approached, took her hand, and then Lily did something she hadn't done in 2.5 years. She squeezed. Not much, not with strength, but she squeezed Eleanor's hand. Eleanor felt the pressure, weak, trembling, but real. Do you feel it? Lily asked. Eleanor couldn't speak, she just nodded. Tears streamed down her face. I can move my toes too, both feet, and I can feel when you touch me. Not everything, but something. It's something, Aunt Eleanor. It's something. Eleanor knelt in front of the chair, hugged Lily, and cried like she hadn't cried in years. Beatrice was in the doorway, watching, smiling, with her blue notebook in her hands. Day 456, she wrote. Lily squeezed Eleanor's hand. Voluntary movement, bilateral sensation in feet. The miracle isn't that she'll walk. The miracle is that she believes it's possible again. Eleanor looked up, looked at Beatrice, and without words, said thank you. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for saving my family. Beatrice nodded. And Eleanor knew that Beatrice understood everything, because some conversations don't need words, just presence. That night, Eleanor called her assistant, told her she wanted to make a donation, $1 million, to a foundation that helped families with spinal cord injuries who couldn't afford physical therapy. And she wanted Beatrice to be the director of the program, training caregivers, teaching what she knew, sharing the hope. When Eleanor proposed this to Beatrice, Beatrice was silent. Mrs. Hayes, I don't have degrees. I don't have certificates. I only have what I learned caring for my daughter, and that's worth more than any degree, because you learned it with love, and that's not taught in any university. Beatrice accepted, but with one condition. That Lily be part of the program too, when she's ready, to give hope to others who are going through what she went through. Eleanor smiled. Deal. More months passed. Lily continued to improve, slowly, very slowly, but steadily. She regained sensation in almost 60% of her legs. She could move the toes on both feet. She could feel temperature, pain, pressure. The doctors were confused. They ordered more tests, MRIs, neurological exams. One of them said to Eleanor, I don't understand how it's possible. The injury was complete. T10 and T11. There shouldn't be any recovery. Eleanor smiled. Maybe there are things that medicine can't measure. The doctor frowned. Like what? Like 730 hours of steady love. The doctor didn't know what to say, but Eleanor no longer needed medicine to explain anything to her, because she had seen the miracle with her own eyes. Not the miracle of a complete cure, but the miracle of hope restored. And that was more than enough. A year and a half after Eleanor discovered Beatrice massaging Lily for the first time, the three of them were in the physical therapy room. It was a Saturday morning. Sunny. Quiet. Beatrice said to Lily, today we're going to try something new. What? Beatrice pulled something from behind a chair. A walker. Eleanor looked at Beatrice. Beatrice nodded. Lily looked at the walker. Then Eleanor glanced at Beatrice. Then at Lily. Do you think I can? We won't know until you try, Lily responded. Eleanor took a deep breath. Okay, let's try. Beatrice and Lily helped Eleanor rise from the wheelchair. They supported her weight, positioning her in front of the walker. Eleanor gripped the bars with both hands. All right, Beatrice said. Now try to put some weight on your right leg. Eleanor tried. Her legs were shaking. They couldn't support her full weight, but they could support some, just a little more. Eleanor pushed. Her knees almost buckled. Lily and Beatrice held her steady. Breathe. Try again. Eleanor inhaled, closed her eyes, pushed, and took a step. Small, shaky, with 80% of her weight supported by the walker and Beatrice and Lily's arms, but a step nonetheless. She opened her eyes, looked down, looked at Beatrice, looked at Lily. I did it. You did it, Beatrice affirmed. Take another. Eleanor breathed again, pushed again, and took another step, and another, and another. 3 steps. Then her legs gave way. Beatrice and Lily caught her. They gently guided her back into the chair. Eleanor was crying, laughing. Crying and laughing all at once. I walked 3 steps. You walked 3 steps, Lily repeated, embracing her. and Beatrice noted in her journal, Day 547. Eleanor walked 3 steps with a walker. It's not walking alone, not running, not dancing like before, but it's moving, it's living, it's not giving up. And sometimes, that's all the miracle you need. If, after hearing this, you still think small gestures don't matter, that a household manager's 730 hours are worthless compared to a CEO's millions, then you've missed the point entirely, because the miracle wasn't medical, it was human. It was love transformed into action. It was perseverance when everything seemed futile. It was hope against all odds. It was Beatrice saying, I'm going to try to save you even though I failed my daughter. It was Lily saying, I'm going to learn even if it's late. It was Eleanor saying, I'm going to try even though the doctors say it's impossible. That was the miracle. And that miracle changed 3 lives forever. 6 months after those first 3 steps, Lily held a press conference. She invited local media, not to talk about her hotels, but to announce the creation of the 730 Hours Foundation. The name came from Beatrice, 730 hours, 2 hours a day, for a year, the minimum needed for a miracle to begin to be possible. The foundation offered free training to caregivers of people with spinal cord injuries, teaching massage therapy techniques, providing basic equipment, and above all, giving hope. Beatrice was named director of the program. Her salary increased from $400 a month to $1,600, 4 times more, not because Lily wanted to pay her what she should have been paid from the start, but because the work was worth it. Beatrice trained 10 caregivers each month, teaching them exactly what she had done with Eleanor. The massages, the exercises, the pressure points, but above all, she taught them something that no manual could explain: how to love without expecting anything in return. In the first year, the foundation helped 50 families, 50 individuals with spinal cord injuries who couldn't afford professional physical therapy, now had someone trained caring for them, massaging them, giving them hope. Not everyone improved like Eleanor. Medicine is clear on that. Complete spinal cord injuries rarely reverse. Eleanor's recovery was exceptional, unusual, almost impossible. But what did happen with all those 50 families was something else. They stopped feeling alone. They stopped feeling that their situation was hopeless. And although their bodies didn't change as much as Eleanor's, their lives did change. Because sometimes the miracle isn't walking, it's knowing someone is there, trying, without giving up, day after day. And Eleanor changed too. She continued to improve, slowly. 2 years after taking her first 3 steps, she could walk short distances with the walker, maybe 20 yards, 30 on a good day. She couldn't run. She couldn't dance ballet like before. She probably never would again, but she could stand. She could hug her aunt while standing. She could walk from her room to the garden. She could feel the sun on her face while standing on her own 2 feet. And that, for someone who thought she would never feel anything from the waist down again, was everything. Eleanor enrolled in college, online first, then in person. She studied physical therapy. She wanted to understand scientifically what Beatrice had done empirically. She wanted to be able to explain to others how it was possible, and she wanted to help. Once a month, Eleanor gave a talk at the foundation. She arrived in her wheelchair. She stood up with the help of her walker, and she told her story to families who had just received the same diagnosis she had received 2.5 years earlier: complete paraplegia, irreversible. But Eleanor would tell them, "That's what they told me too. And maybe they're right. Maybe your injury is different from mine. Maybe you won't recover movement. Maybe you won't recover sensation. But I'm going to tell you something. If you have someone willing to try with you, if you have 730 hours of consistent love, you have a chance. Not a guarantee, a chance. And sometimes, that's all you need to keep going." Many cried, some got angry. They said it was cruel to give false hope. That medicine was clear, that this was an exception, not the rule. And Eleanor didn't argue. She just said, "You're right. Maybe it's an exception. But even if you don't recover movement, wouldn't you rather try? Wouldn't you rather know you did everything possible? Wouldn't you rather have someone who loves you so much that they're willing to massage legs that may never walk again? Because that's what Beatrice did for me, and that's what my aunt learned to do. And even if I had never walked again, just knowing that they hadn't given up on me already saved my life. Those words changed something in people. Not always immediately, but weeks later, Beatrice would receive calls, emails, messages from those same people saying they wanted to try, that they wanted to learn, that they wanted to give their family member what Beatrice had given Eleanor, and the foundation grew. By the third year, it wasn't 50 families anymore. It was 200. Beatrice had trained 30 additional caregivers who were now training others. The program had expanded to 3 more cities. Lily had donated a total of $2.5 million to the foundation. But more important than the money, she had donated her time. She reduced her work schedule to 8 hours a day. She hired a co-CEO who managed the day-to-day operations of her hotels. Eleanor only supervised. She made strategic decisions, but she no longer lived at the office. She lived at home with Lily. They had breakfast together every morning. Eleanor had learned to cook. Not well, but she tried. Lily would laugh at her burnt eggs. Eleanor would laugh too. Twice a week, Eleanor still helped with the massage sessions. Now, Lily didn't need them as much. Her body had stabilized. The recovery had plateaued to a certain point, but the sessions continued, not out of medical necessity, but because they had become their way of being together, of talking, of connecting. Beatrice sometimes joined, sometimes not, but she was always nearby. Because she wasn't just the household manager anymore, she was family. Eleanor had given her a permanent room in the estate. Beatrice could leave whenever she wanted. She had her own apartment, but she chose to stay, because that house had become her home, too. One Sunday afternoon, 3 years after that morning when Eleanor first saw Beatrice massaging Lily, the 3 of them were sitting in the garden, drinking tea, watching the sunset. Lily was in her wheelchair, not because she couldn't walk, but because walking 20 yards was exhausting for long distances. The chair was still necessary, and that was okay. Lily had made peace with it. It wasn't the life she had planned, but it was a life, and it was a good one. Eleanor asked Beatrice, "Do you ever regret starting this, regret coming in early that first day?" Beatrice thought for a moment. Then she said, "Every day I think about Daniela, and every day I wonder if things would have been different if I hadn't given up on her. I don't know the answer. I'll never know." She paused. "But when I see Lily, when I see the 200 families we've helped, when I see that this house, which was once so full of silence and pain, is now full of life, I feel like Daniela would be proud. I feel like her life, though short, wasn't in vain, because she taught me how to love, and that love saved Lily, and it's saving others." Lily took Beatrice's hand. "Daniela taught you well." Beatrice smiled. Silent tears streamed down her face. Eleanor looked at them both and felt something she hadn't felt in years. Gratitude, peace, the certainty that she was exactly where she needed to be. Not in an office, not in a board meeting, not reviewing financial reports at midnight, but here, at home, with her family, doing the only thing that really mattered, being present. If you've made it this far, and you still believe that working more hours is the solution to everything, that success is measured in money and not in relationships, that being busy is more important than being present, then nothing I've said has gotten through to you. But if something in your chest tightened when you heard about Beatrice's 7:30 hours, if something in you broke when Lily took those 3 steps, if something in your soul recognized that Eleanor was about to lose the only thing that mattered by chasing things that don't matter, then maybe it's time to ask yourself a question. How many hours have you invested in what really matters? Not in your job, not in your professional goals, but in the people you love, in being present, in massaging the wounds that nobody else sees, in giving hope when all seems lost. 7:30 hours is 2 hours a day for a year. It's a lot. It's sacrifice, it's arriving early, it's staying late, it's doing it when nobody's watching, when nobody's going to applaud you, when there's no recognition or extra pay. It's love, pure, constant, unconditional. And Beatriz Morales, a household manager who earned $400 a month, understood that better than a multimillionaire CEO, until the CEO learned. 3.5 years after the beginning of this story, Eleanor gave an interview to a journalist who wanted to write about the foundation. The journalist asked her, "What's been the best investment you've ever made in your life?" Eleanor smiled. "It wasn't buying my first hotel. It wasn't expanding my business. It wasn't the millions I donated to the foundation." Then what was it? It was the first 2 hours I spent learning how to massage my niece's legs. Because in those 2 hours, I learned more about the value of time than in 50 years of living. The journalist wrote that. The article went viral. Thousands of people shared it. Hundreds wrote messages saying it had made them cry, that it had made them rethink their priorities. And Eleanor only hoped that at least one of them truly understood, that they would stop running, that they would sit down with their family, that they would give 2 hours of constant love. Because those 2 hours could change everything. Today, as you record this video, as you share this story, Beatriz Morales is 55 years old. She's still the director of the 7:30 Hours program. She has personally trained over 300 caregivers. She has changed over 500 lives. Her salary is now $2,500 a month. She has health insurance. She has paid vacation. She has a permanent room in Eleanor's estate that she can use whenever she wants. But more than that, she has a family, because Eleanor and Lily no longer see her as an employee. They see her as what she always was, an angel disguised as a household manager. Lily is 20 years old now. She's in her 3rd year of physical therapy. She works part-time at the foundation, giving talks and training new patients. Her dream of dancing in London died, but a new dream was born, to help others stand up when they think they never can again. She walks short distances with a walker, long distances in a chair. She has regained 65% of the feeling in her legs. She can feel, she can move, not like before, but enough to live fully. She has a boyfriend. She met him at college. He knows her story. He knows her limitations. And he loves her exactly as she is, because Lily learned something that many never learn, that your worth isn't in what you can do. It's in who you are. And Eleanor Hayes is 58 years old. She's still CEO. But she no longer works 14 hours a day. She works 8, sometimes 6. The rest of the time, she's at home, or at the foundation, or traveling with Lily, or simply sitting in the garden, drinking tea, watching the sunset. Her hotels are still successful, maybe more so than before, because it turns out that when you delegate, when you trust, when you stop trying to control everything, things work just as well, or better, and you have more time for what matters. Eleanor learned that success isn't measured in how much you earn. It's measured in how much time you spend with the people you love, in how many lives you touch, in how much love you give. And by that measure, Eleanor Hayes is the most successful woman you'll ever meet. Now let me ask you something. If this story touched you, if something within you stirred, if you recognize something of Eleanor in yourself, her absence, her blindness, her belief that working more would solve everything, what are you going to do about it? Because you can close this video. You can say, "What a beautiful story." You can give it a like, you can share it, and you can stay exactly the same. Or you can do something different. You can look at your calendar. You can see how many hours you spend working and how many hours you spend with the people you love. You can ask yourself, if something happened to someone I love, Would I regret not being more present? And if the answer is yes, then you have a decision to make, because time doesn't return, opportunities don't repeat themselves, and the people you love won't be there forever. Lily learned it when she almost lost David. Eleanor learned it when she almost lost Lily. Don't wait to lose someone to learn what they learned. Money can be recovered. Time cannot. Contracts can be redone. Moments cannot. Work will be there tomorrow. People maybe not. And if there's anything this story should teach you, it's this. 730 hours of consistent love are worth more than $2.5 million without presence. 2 hours a day for a year, that's all Lily needed to save a life. How many lives could you save if you invested 2 hours a day in the people you love? Not with gifts, not with money, not with promises that someday you'll have more time, but with presence, with hands that massage, with words that comfort, with hugs that say, I'm here. That's the lesson, that's the story. And now that you know it, you have two options: forget it or live it. Eleanor Hayes chose to live it, and it saved her life. Lily lived it from the beginning and saved many lives. David received it and now shares it. And you, what's your story? Because we all have 730 hours in a year. The question isn't whether you have them. The question is how you're going to use them. And I really hope that after listening to this story, you choose to use them wisely, because in the end, when you're on your last day, nobody's going to ask how much money you made. They're going to ask how many people you loved. And the answer to that question is the only one that really matters. Thank you for listening to the story of Lily, David, and Eleanor. 3 women who learned that miracles don't come from heaven. They come from consistent hands, from silent love, from 730 hours of not giving up. And if this story moved you, share it. Not for me, but because someone out there needs to hear it. Someone who's working 14 hours a day thinking that's going to solve everything. Someone who's absent from their home, but present in the office. Someone who's about to lose what really matters. Share it. And maybe, just maybe, that person will also choose to change. Because the world needs more Lilies. More people willing to give 730 hours without expecting anything in return. And fewer Eleanors from the beginning. Fewer people running from pain toward work. Be the Lily in someone's story. And if you're the Eleanor, you still have time to change. It's not too late. It's never too late to choose love. It's never too late to be present. It's never too late to give your 730 hours. Start today. 2 hours. With someone you love. No phone, no work, no distractions. Just presence, and see what happens. Maybe it won't be a medical miracle, but it will be a human miracle. And those are the only miracles that really matter.